6:26, and I am calling this meeting of the Wakefield Youth Council into order. So now we say the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. And now on to attendance. I'm just going to take quick attendance. So James.
Here.
Nathaniel's absent. Annabeth is absent. I'm present. Thomas.
Here.
William.
Here.
Michaela. I see Michaela's name. Okay, she might not have audio. Okay, Ahmed.
Here.
Madeline is not here. Maya is not here. Sophia is not here. Juliana said she was gonna not be able to make it. Olivia.
Here.
All right, Vanessa.
Here.
And Aaron, I don't think is here. Okay. So now on to public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak? All right, seeing none. Next up is the approval of the April 24th meeting minutes. So Thomas, do you want to give us a very brief overview of that?
Sure, I'm going to try to be very quick with this. So April 24th, the meeting went well. We approved the meeting minutes from February 7th, March 7th, and April 9th because they were sort of backed up. We talked about the school services project that we've been working on. We talked about the civic action projects, which are going to begin very soon. Discuss the tree project, which the event happened and was very successful, sort of debriefed on that. We went over a few liaison updates, some very promising stuff there. Talked about applications, the meeting with the Wakefield, England youth voice team, and that was about it.
All right, perfect. So do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I'm going to call down the roll. James?
Yay.
Myself, yay. Thomas?
Yay.
William?
Yay.
Michaela?
Yay.
Ahmed?
Yeah.
And Olivia?
Yay.
And Vanessa?
Yay.
All right, so next up on our agenda is the police department liaison update. So Olivia, I believe Catherine told me that you have an update from the police department with your liaison position. So do you want to share that with us?
Yes. So at my last meeting, it was a couple weeks ago, Chief Scory and I discussed, he told me that they host an annual car seat event where they go to, I believe, the Chrysler in Wakefield, and they install car seats into cars, and it's basically a toy drive but for car seats to help new parents who might not be able to afford the stuff they need. And we also talked about trying to figure out maybe an extended homeroom at the high school. We were talking about this year, but we're towards the end of the year and we don't have many left to be able to implement that. But having some type of almost like the trades day, except with there's police officers and then there's firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, all sorts of stuff like that. Like people in our community who we might not realize help us as much as they do. Just kind of like a meet and greet, or just talk about what they do in the town. So just be more close with everyone. Yep, that's all.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Olivia. I think that's a great idea, and I like how I think that you mentioned the trades presentation that they did recently at the high school, and I think that the parallels with that. I think that's a really great idea to kind of showcase kind of what they do and opportunities for kids in that front. So I think that's a great idea. Does anyone have any questions for Olivia?
Olivia, I think, would you be willing to go to guidance with that suggestion? Because I think students would really love to learn about, Is there currently any kind of panel like that where they had they have the students with the featured the trades workers, public safety and EMTs and
I don't think there's a panel on that right now, but I can definitely go talk to guidance about that to think to sorry to like to see if we
facilitate?
can try to get that. Yes, to facilitate something like that.
I think that would be great. I know that's something that guidance is looking to do more of, and then that would be a nice connection with, to create some of those opportunities. So if you could initiate that on behalf of the youth council, Ollie, do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think that Mr. Guidance Counselor Robertson was in charge of the Trades Day, that panel that happened I think last week at the high school. So yeah, to just yeah, the parallels with that, I think that's great. For you to reach out to guidance on behalf of the youth council with that, because I think that that definitely does provide more exposure for those types of jobs for kids, and like understanding the roles that those play in the community. So I think that that's great, Olivia.
Yeah, I can definitely send an email to the 4 guidance counselors and then Mr. Robinson, the guidance director, and then I can send one to Ms. McLeod too, just to so that way everyone's aware to see if we can try to get that to happen.
Yeah, perfect.
Wonderful. That's a great step.
All right. Thank you, Olivia. Does anyone else have any other questions for Olivia?
Sorry, real quick. My internet's really spotty. We're about to enter a really rural zone. If I get kicked out, will that really count?
Um,
Just try to join back when you can.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ahmed. All right. So next on our agenda are the civic action projects. So I know that we discussed this in greater depth at our last meeting, and some of the ideas that we discussed were creating that chart that kind of details what each of us do in our liaison roles, and using that to connect back to our to connect back to the actual project, so that way students have opportunities to connect with youth council members and make their projects a reality. So I know that civic action projects at the high school just started this week. Teachers just started talking about them. Mr. Collins, at the Galvin, how far along are people with their civic action projects right now?
Pretty much consistently in all the teams, we're in like the research phase.
Okay.
So students have gone through the process of picking a topic that, well, most students have gone through the process of picking a topic that is of interest to them. And then the first assignment is really just about like their identity, so not digging super deep into their topics, but we're now starting the like research about their topic and looking into it a little bit is where they're at, but still in the early stages as well.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So with that, Catherine, I know that at the last meeting we discussed kind of that. I think it was like
The
a
one,
draft chart that you have.
yep.
Yeah.
So I can send that to Mr. Collins and Mr. Pavey and CC with each of the youth council members a description of their department liaison and their contact information.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, then the students can reach out to us individually. So I think that's a great
And
plan.
even just put that as part of their action
Yeah.
project. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll send that over to them tomorrow.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. And so with that, hold on. All right. So yeah, so that was the general basis of what I want to discuss with civic action projects. Does anyone have anything else that they'd like to discuss with civic action projects? All right. So seeing none, I'm going to move on to youth council applications. So as we discussed previously, youth council applications are actually due this Friday. And we've done a lot of social media outreach to get out the message to let people know that applications are open and invite them to apply, which we've done on social media through our many posts and other flyers throughout the schools that have already gone up. And so I just want to encourage everyone again to make sure that they get those applications in by Friday. For our middle school members, our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, to make sure that they have opportunities to continue their role on the youth council and grow with that. So does everyone have access to the application website? Because I know I included that on a couple of previous emails. Okay. So yeah. So yep. Just keeping in
Have
mind
you
that
heard how many applications have come in yet?
no, I have not heard from
Okay,
Sherry.
you can check in with Sherry too,
Okay.
to see.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll actually send her an email right after the meeting.
Okay.
So does anyone have any questions at all on application stuff? Anything that they're wondering about? All right. And yeah, and that process is very quick, just a couple minutes long. It takes to fill out that application. So nothing arduous. So with that, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to move on to our next agenda item. Oh, and before I move on, just to make sure that I just want to encourage everyone to share out those social media posts that we've been including and share it with their friends that applications are open, to make sure that we're able to get as many applicants as we can, because this is definitely a great opportunity for the community. So so next on our agenda, do we have any liaison updates from between this meeting and the last? All right. Yeah. All right. And I just have a quick update. So I know that I was previously scheduled to present to the town council yesterday, actually, but that I was able to move that to, I think, later this month or early June, during their next town council meeting, just to give me more time to prepare that presentation. So after that, we'll have I'll have the opportunity to share that out with everyone too. So if there are no other questions or liaison updates, next up is Communications Outreach Subcommittee update. So I know Madeline's not here, and I don't think that she was able to prepare that Communications Outreach Subcommittee meeting, but I'm going to make sure to discuss with her to make sure that we're getting that up. And also with that in mind, working on the school supports initiative that we're working on with Mr. Robinson to make sure that we get that plan of action set up, and kind of that. And I know we talked about making a video to make sure that all that gets set up before the end of this year, so that way it can be presented at the start of next year. So definitely making sure that we get in before the mid-June.
Ollie, do you think we could? I know I emailed Miss Jen McDonald. Do you think we could do like a social media post that we met with the Wakefield England Youth Council last week? Because I think even if we don't have a picture, you guys could make like an Instagram post showing like Wakefield England and Wakefield, Massachusetts, and
Yeah.
do something. So
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
and I took, just talk about the things that we discussed, sharing ideas and things, because I thought that was a cool connection between the two youth councils, and how um, their theirs is a government role, and that it's really encouraged at the parliament level to have youth voice brought to the governments in England.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea to do. Yeah, to include that, like the differences between us and them, and also our similarities too. I think that's definitely a great idea for a fun post to do for us, even if we don't have that picture. I can definitely make something creative with that, like so do Canva with it or something.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so absolutely, I'll do that. So if there is, I don't think that there's anything else with subcommittee stuff. Yeah. So item 11, school culture and support services. That's generally being covered by the communications outreach subcommittee on the high school level. Mr. Collins, do you have any updates from the middle school level? I know at the last meeting you kind of discussed you were meeting with the positive school culture team to see if they were like continuing that next year, and kind of like, I know that you said that you were having informal meetings with the administration at the Galvin. Has anything changed since then?
Not not tremendously. I think the biggest thing for us now is kind of looking into next year in terms of like what systems the positive school culture team has put into place this year, and how we're going to continue or tweak them moving forward, and kind of what to look at. I know win block is another thing at the Galvin that's been kind of rolled out this year and discussed about next year, and
Okay.
we can kind of improve and continue those systems next year. So really, as crazy as it seems, like I feel like our attention is on next year and what
Yeah.
to kind of do for that, but nothing tremendously new to report on.
All right. Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. So if there's no other comments on school culture, the last major initiative item that we're going to be talking about today is the bike ballet program. So I know that this past summer, Juliana Spalding helped to spearhead this project, but it did take, as we know, a lot of effort and like especially from Juliana, she volunteered a lot of her time, especially, and we also, as a whole, all the youth council members too, made some time to volunteer. And so, kind of what we need to discuss now is whether we are going to continue this initiative into next summer, not next summer, this summer, in the coming months. So, what do we think generally on continuing this project, or even if we personally don't lead it as the youth council, potentially even handing it off to like Safe Streets or something like that. So, what are our general thoughts?
I think we should continue with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good program last year, but like you were saying, like staffing was a big issue. So I
Yeah.
feel like if we can take care of that, then it would be great to have.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the biggest concern with it is especially because we know Juliana is going to be going off to college, so she's not going to be able to staff it in the same way that she did this past summer. So making sure that if we do opt to run it, that we do have that consistent staffing. Yeah, Michaela.
You'd also like try to like post on social media a lot about like the volunteer opportunities for the bike ballet. Just so that more people are aware of it, so we could try to get more staffing on that front.
We did that a fair amount last year, wouldn't you say, Ellie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did open it up to like the general community. I just don't think that given that it is the summer and it's like people's like Saturday mornings and afternoons, there wasn't really much appetite for people to volunteer for it. So I think that kind
I
of
mean, we
with
got a
that,
fair amount, but I mean, if you think about how long the farmers market runs, it runs from June all the way through October. So, and then you need 4 hours covered each week. So it's a lot of um that's a lot of volunteer shifts that we have to cover. So it's just something to think about considering then you have to tell the youth who has the first shift how to set up the bike valet. So, and if
yeah,
Juliana's going off to college, who's going to take it over?
yeah, yeah, Michaela.
Last year, did you guys reach out to guidance? Because I know they post a lot about like volunteer opportunities and job opportunities and stuff.
Yeah. I can reach out to guidance to see if they would be able to post that once we get that. I think we used the
We
sign up sheet.
definitely did though last year.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Through Miss Delory, we posted on through guidance and through National Honor Society.
Okay. Okay. So kind of. Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think we definitely need to have more groups involved, instead of relying on like student volunteers. Because last year, I know Ali, you posted a lot, and I feel like it was it didn't really give us too many volunteers. So definitely, like you were saying, like Safe Streets or any other groups would definitely be helpful. Or even if we did want to get rid of doing this ourselves, like I don't know if the like farmers market themselves would be interested in implementing this and we could give them our supplies or something like that. Because I do think it's a really good idea. It's just very hard to staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, people appreciated it, and there was lots of scooters and strollers and bikes. So could maybe we can ask Juliana to bring this to Safe Streets?
Yeah, I think that that's definitely a great next step. I think that from there we can really see if we would be able to get like that support from them to see if we could like work with them to continue this program, and if not, we can go from there.
Then maybe it's more of a partnership to staff it versus it
Yeah,
all falling
exactly.
on the youth council. Um,
Yeah, I think that that's a good next step. Okay. So, are there any other questions or discussion on the bike valet? All right. Seeing none. So next up are announcements. So let me see. So I know that Catherine briefly mentioned before that this will be her last meeting in her official role as the youth council advisor because she will be leaving working at the town of Wakefield very soon. So, Catherine, do you want to say anything?
Um, I just want to say, I'm sad to be leaving the Wakefield Youth Council. I've been with the Youth Council since it started, back when Ali and Thomas, are you my two only original Youth Council members? I believe so. So that was back when you all were in middle school. So it's been a great journey, and because I'm a resident in Wakefield, I will continue to support the Youth Council. I will happily join as a guest sometimes and listen in, but I will no longer have the official advisor role. Mr. Collins will be taking you through the rest of the school year, and then we'll be getting a new town council liaison assigned to the Youth Council. So have we learned who that is yet, Ali?
No, I
Okay.
haven't received any update as to that.
So we'll find out, but I'll still be in contact with Mr. Collins and and Ali as we finish up this school year because I don't like to leave things hanging. So
Yeah.
I'll still be quasi involved. But you all are wonderful inspiration. The amount of hours dedicated to projects. Vanessa, our graphic designer is still working on the mural, so that's moving forward. We found a student graphic designer. Did you hear that?
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I did want to let you know I dropped all that stuff off last week, so that's moving forward. So great things to come in the future from the Youth Council, and I'm so incredibly proud of you. And I'm so thankful for how many hours you all donate and volunteer to the Youth Council to make it happen. It's a lot of hard work. You're not paid, and hopefully you're paid in the things that you've learned and the praise from the community leaders because they do see you as a valued member of the as of the government. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Catherine, because the youth council. I don't know what the youth council would have been without your great leadership, and all the advice that you've given us. So I just thank you so much for all the work that you've been able to give us over the past, I think, 4 years. So thank you so much for that, and we're definitely going to miss you over here. All
Well, I'm
right.
gonna have to come to your last in-person meeting and give you
Yeah.
pizza and ice cream once more because that's
Yeah. That sounds fun. All right. Thank you. Does anyone else have any updates that they'd like to share? All right. All right. So next up is item 14. So determining our next meeting date. So I know the next half day is June 5th. So we would be able to do probably a WCAT meeting um, on the half day that day. And so I'm not sure, would that be, so that would be June 5th, which is, I think, the first week of June, or second week, actually. Let me check. I think first week. Yeah, first week of June. And so would that function? What do we think? Would that be our last meeting of this term, or would we try to have one last meeting? But I think that, yeah, by
I
usually,
think that makes sense to be your
yeah,
last meeting.
yeah, because if we were to do it like 2 weeks later, that would be like finals week and then school's over. So I don't think that that would work. So that would be our last meeting. Yeah, and that would be an in-person meeting at WCAT. And I think that would be a great way to end off the year. So does that work for people generally to have the meeting June 5th on the half day?
Yeah, it works.
So Ellie, just make sure you email Barbara and Ian at WCAT.
Okay. Yes, I'll do that. Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments on that? All right. So next up, before we adjourn, does anyone have any last things that they'd like to say? All right then. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
I motion.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, I'm gonna call down the roll. Please say yay or nay. James,
Yay.
myself, yay. Thomas,
Yay.
William,
Yay.
Michaela,
Yay.
Ahmed,
Yay.
Olivia,
Yay.
and Vanessa. I think Vanessa hopped off. Okay. So with that, we have unanimously adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. And we'll see you on June 5th. All right. Thank you everyone.
Okay.